What is going on, everyone? Today we have Jamal, who leads crypto strategy at Wyre. And if you haven't heard about Wyre, they are an incredible company. One of the biggest hurdles when coming in or driving adoption into the Web3 space is how do you actually purchase these digital assets? And before it was really hard; you'd have to go left, right, up, and down to get them. But we're gonna have Jamal on today to talk a little bit more. Really about like how Wyre is solutioning and creating the future and making it much easier for the end user to be able to participate in the space, and how reducing this friction has opened up a lot of doors to these new entrants into the market, as well as some of the things that you as a business or a large brand or IP should be thinking about when you start to accept crypto, or if you're thinking about moving into that Web3 strategy. So with that, I would love to bring on Jamal. What's up, man? How are you?
Hey, thanks for having me.
Of course, yeah, man. Thanks for being on. Exciting days.
Yeah, really pumped. Bear market's a great time to get things done.
Yeah, I've been hearing that, right? So it's not a bear market, it's the builders market. That's
Yeah,
that's how
that's
we
a better term. I love that.
right. So it's the builders market. Well, look, man, thank you so much for jumping on the day. Uh, you know, Wyre is one of the juggernauts in the space, and to be able to have their head of crypto strategy on to be able to provide some insights and feedback is a huge opportunity for me and for us. So thank you again for hopping on.
Of course, we love you guys. We love working with you guys. So excited to be here.
Great. Yeah. So there's kind of two areas that I really wanted to focus on today, because this is we get asked about this like all the time, right? And that it's between the customer side, right, and then the business side. So on the customer side, like why has it been so hard to purchase or to participate in the crypto space? And then from the business side, like how do we think about accepting crypto and like all of that stuff? So we'll start at the front end, because I know that's a big one. So up until now, like where did like Wyre come from, and like why has it been so hard for people to go and purchase digital assets up until now?
Yeah, great question. And kind of the reason why Wire started ultimately. Wire was started in 2013, and it's pivoted a handful of times, but ultimately started in 2013 to build just crypto solutions to make it easier for developers to build on crypto. And I think that there were multiple iterations of what that looked like. In the beginning, they were just like a regular crypto payment acceptance company helping you spend your crypto at a regular e-commerce site, which was a great use case, and then quickly transitioned over to just facilitating cross-border payments with crypto, having all that crypto infrastructure via API. They just started pushing it out to developer integrations like that. And I think it's around 2017, 2018, Wire really caught its stride by focusing heavily on the fiat to crypto space, but more importantly, providing that in a very robust suite of APIs. So it's Wire's vision, it's my personal vision as well, that the developers are really the ones that are going to usher in the next billion people into crypto, and they're the ones that are going to properly bring in the next wave of folks. So very quickly from there, we just doubled down on developer tools. So we just really wanted to build an extremely robust suite of APIs that handle all the compliance and all that regulatory garbage that comes with having to build on the blockchain and build financial payment ecosystems, as well as all the technical connections that are required to basically add blockchain assets or integrate blockchain assets into your payment flow, whether it be a variety of use cases, including like what you mentioned, crypto payment acceptance, buying crypto in the app, holding crypto in the app, trading crypto, sending money to your friend abroad, cashing out that crypto, a variety of use cases, but just raw developer toolkits for developers to actualize their vision, build on top of Wire's APIs, and build cool apps without having to worry about that garbage that we handle for them.
hmm Yeah, and that's what I found so amazing, really, in the market as a whole, is that these companies with these like strong focuses on making it like I love the approach of, if we make it easier for the developers, then ultimately we drive mass market adoption, right? Like we're not, and that's such a cool take beyond, because I feel like I live in the world of a lot of like how do we design for end customers, like the non crypto native, but Wire being on the side of how do we design for engineers, which is really cool. And like in that space as well, there's two kind of terms that I don't know if everyone knows about, but let you define them, right? Is that we hear a lot about on ramping and off ramping, and like what does that mean when I hear businesses here at the, like on ramp, off ramp. Like what's the difference with those? And while you answer that, I'm gonna go turn this air conditioning off, but I am still listening, so I promise
Yeah,
I'll be back
no
to you.
worries. No, yeah, I'm with you. I think on ramping and off ramping is a very generic term that has been thrown around a lot, and there's a variety of ways to define it. But I mean, everyone always thinks that when you think of crypto payments, you think of crypto payment acceptance. Like I'm an e-commerce website that's looking to accept crypto on their website or whatever, and that's cool. That's definitely crypto payments, but I think the market is a little too early for that right now. I mean, you have powerhouses like BitPay and Coin Payments and some of these other guys. PayPal's getting into the space as well. Some other providers getting into the space as well. But like what you'll see is that the retail use case just quite isn't there yet, right? Users are holding crypto. To be honest with you, you feel kind of like a dummy if you buy a T-shirt for $100 of Bitcoin and next week it's $150, right?
Right.
So we saw that on ramp, or sorry, that crypto payment experience, that retail use case just wasn't there yet. So we didn't, instead of doubling down, we focused on the reverse, which is bringing crypto to a user with traditional fiat and traditional payment mechanisms. So that's what on ramping really is. On ramping is providing a dozen payment methods to a user to be integrated via API into another app. We provide a dozen different payment experiences, payment methods, and just allow people to use those payment methods to just buy traditional assets, or more importantly, crypto assets. So you can run a card and get fiat, and that's cool. As a payments company, we can facilitate that. But the real cool use cases that we facilitate are: I want to integrate someone to buy Ethereum in my app. I want to integrate someone to buy Avalanche, to buy Solana, to buy another crypto asset in the app itself. And the beauty of what we're doing is we operate similar to an exchange. Like you can go to Coinbase and buy crypto just like any other fiat on ramp. However, our solution is integrated into your app to provide that more native experience. So a user doesn't have to leave your app; they can just use their traditional fiat method and actually buy that crypto right then and there. So that's what we consider on ramping. Wyre's, one of our flagship integrations is definitely the MetaMask integration. You go into MetaMask, you find Wyre in there, you click buy crypto, and then we have a variety of cryptos that you can buy. We can take a couple different payment methods right there, but we just take your payment in, shoot you crypto immediately. I'd say, just to call out a small difference between a Coinbase and us. The way we differ is we're more integrated from a payments perspective to provide immediate utility and immediate liquidity in crypto. Coinbase is more of a trading company. So that's,
Right.
like, to me, how we separate the two worlds. You have the trading use cases out there. People just want to buy and sell, and they don't care about using or touching that crypto. We facilitate and support a different market, the market that's more, I want to have the crypto itself. I want to utilize the crypto for the benefits of the blockchain. I want to go leverage it in a decentralized app. I want immediate liquidity. So I want to go to a payment provider to actually utilize the benefits of crypto payments. So that's
Got
kind
it.
of like, that's how we differentiate ourselves from what we would consider traditional trading on ramps like Coinbase, and then
Sure.
actual fiat on ramps like us and other payment providers in the space.
Got it. Okay, so there definitely is the clear difference, right? And no, so that's super helpful. So if like what I find so interesting is that I think that the beauty of where Web3, or especially like we'll even like drill down into like purchasing and buying with crypto, is that the fact that you can like go and check out with a credit card now versus like, oh no, go to Binance and record a video saying who you are and upload your your ID and then buy some off of the exchange, then transfer it to your MetaMask and then go to OpenSea and then purchase it and now you have it. It's like, what? That's
Yeah, and
the
there's like
most
8 day
ridiculous.
holds. There's like 5 to 8 day holds along the way. So like by then the NFT is useless or maybe gone or something
Right.
like that, right? So you're absolutely right. That was the pain point that we were trying to solve. We saw that not as a pain point for the trading world, right? Because like I just want to buy Bitcoin and get exposure to Bitcoin. I don't care if I hold it here or somewhere else. Those people are obviously bringing in a lot of heat in the market. Trading is one of the hottest use cases in crypto. It's one of the dominating ones. So we'll take the heat where we can get it. But the goal is really to trickle down to the next market after that, which
Right.
is like significantly these users that want to leverage the benefits of the blockchain themselves. Someone buying and holding on Coinbase, they don't really get to take advantage of what the blockchain has to offer and
Right.
decentralized apps have to offer. So we need that immediate liquidity. We need someone who can take that crypto and leave the platform immediately and go somewhere. And it
Mm-hmm.
comes with a whole slew of, processes and issues and compliance that we have to have in place to be able to facilitate that. But essentially that's the goal. Is like we
Right.
see the real next wave of crypto as the folks that want to leverage the benefits of cryptocurrency for the blockchain. And those people need liquidity immediately, instantly, without any sort of that friction.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. That's not as I find that's a compelling vision, right? And that's beyond just like we want to have tools built on and off. It's more about we want to enable people to actually move beyond just trading and say like if you want to participate in play to earn, or if you want to participate and buy into a DAO, or if you want to like be able to do all of these actual Web3 features, reducing the friction and the barrier to entry from fiat into the crypto world needs to be done. Which that brings me to the next question. And around like the innovation that Wyre has built into this to enable this payment, like how much is it innovation around tech versus innovation around policy versus innovation around operational mode, things that have happened to enable all of this?
Good question. It's definitely, cross-departmental go-to-markets for sure. I'd say the heaviest layer, obviously, we're all tech companies, so the heaviest layer is always going to be the tech and the development and the scoping and the actual innovation that goes into the technology process there.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still involvement across the board. We're still a very heavily regulated money service business, right? So that comes with all the requirements and all the policies and procedures that go into servicing and maintaining those licenses and making regulators happy.
Right.
So that involves like AML analysis, right? We have a very strict and robust AML policy with multiple AML analysts on staff, multi-thousand-dollar tools, maybe $100,000 tools that we use on our side to mitigate as much AML risk. That also comes with fraud, right? Because providing this instant liquidity is a big fraud concern, considering, a fraudster would see this as a really easy way to try and mess with Wyre or mess with a partner, because you essentially can, like steal a bunch of identities or credit cards and try to run them with Wyre or something like that. We
Mm-hmm.
have a very, very robust fraud team, probably as robust as our compliance team, that's staffed with former Amex and former banking network folks, former JP Morgan folks, former even crypto folks as well, people in the crypto space. But the idea is that they leverage traditional years of experience to
Mm-hmm.
come in and mitigate as much fraud as possible. And it's not just providing frictionful fraud mitigation mechanisms, like things like asking for KYC or asking for a phone number or something like that we use. It's also back end risk modeling, back end tools that we use to mitigate as much fraud as possible. So, for
Got
example,
it.
we have tools that pretty much scan every single endpoint. So, like we're very proud to offer. I'm very proud that we offer this. That you can buy up to $500 in the U.S. of crypto without submitting your photo ID. It's
Mm-hmm.
just your name, your billing address, your phone number, and your email. And then internationally, that also goes up to $1,000 as well. So the amount of work and fraud preventative mechanisms that had to go into enabling that were insane. We're insane. And it's just teams and teams of work, right, that go into making sure that we can keep the experience that frictionless and have that few barrier to entry, the few barriers to entry, without having to have as much fraud as we do or deal with as much risk as we do. And that,
Mm-hmm.
that's like potentially years of work that we've done putting in place like very robust fraud models, dealing with best
Right.
in class fraud tools to basically go into making sure that experience looks like a regular old web 2 e-commerce experience, but still operates fully compliantly and fully safe for all of
Mm-hmm.
our partners. So you're right, like it's not just the tech innovation layer. There's like massive cross-departmental back-end work that goes in at Wyre that
Right.
makes sure that the experience doesn't defraud our partners, right?
Mm-hmm.
Partners like MetaMask and Live Nation, GameStop, and all these other big players that work with us. None of that fraud risk comes to them, but also their users can use the app and use the service compliantly and safely as well on their side.
Gotcha. Yeah. So like when So I feel like the huge upside, right? So if I'm looking at this from like a business perspective, it's nice to know that I can offload a lot of that, a lot of that work and like really risk, right, over to Wyre and let you guys manage that. But kind of more abstractly from that though is have like a few questions. Either these are ones that have like actually have that come up before. Is that, do you have, and like this doesn't have to be, we'll go on record saying that this is not financial advice at all, but
Yep.
have you
Exactly.
seen when companies, right, are starting to accept crypto as payment? Like, it's obviously like a volatile asset, right? Like you mentioned before, it's going up or down. Like, do you have any insights into how companies are really managing that? Is it one where like as soon as they accept the crypto, they liquidate it immediately to fiat? Do they hold it to like the end of the day? Are they actually using it as an investment vehicle? Like, what's the common way businesses are interacting with it?
Yeah, that's a great question. And honestly, Wire doesn't do a whole lot of work directly in the crypto payment acceptance realm.
Mm-hmm.
We just haven't doubled down in that space. We facilitate other companies who do. So some of our partners, like Coin Payments, is a really good example of this. A full crypto payment checkout solution
Mm-hmm.
built on top of Wire's Rails, Wire's core infrastructure to enable that payment flow to flow seamlessly. I personally have some experience with this though, so Wire doesn't do a lot of work with this. Prior to Wire, I used to work at Square. I'm really well familiar with the, like just regular checkout and regular e-commerce and in-person checkout. And then prior to that, I actually led BD at another company called BitPay, which is actually the powerhouse of crypto payment acceptance and has been around since 2011. And I was there for several years as well. So some of the major deals that we consulted on, that we worked on, like Microsoft accepts cryptocurrency as a form of payment.
Right.
Dish Network, AT&T, even the state of Ohio was accepting crypto for taxes for a period
Mm-hmm.
of time. So I have a good amount of experience working with those type of integrations and those type of partnerships. What you will notice is that a vast majority of them will elect to do an instantaneous liquidation. And that is, that's just kind of how they do it. There are those customers that are a little bit more crypto friendly and they want to take a small amount of exposure. They
Mm-hmm.
just usually they'll sign up with a service and they'll take a percentage of their fees in crypto and keep it in that. And that's just more of a treasury decision or a personal decision by the company. But that's the extent of what we see. A typical integration, or a vast majority of the integrations that you'll see, they very much so elect to immediately turn that into crypto, or immediately turn that into dollars,
Mm-hmm.
and therefore
Mm-hmm.
limit their exposure. BitPay has a very unique service in the fact that they allow people to accept a certain amount of crypto, but then never actually receive crypto at all, just actually do an automatic liquidation for a guaranteed fiat amount, which
Gotcha.
is really, yeah, which is really awesome. So like someone like AT&T, it's just not feasible. It's not feasible for them to understand what crypto is, take that exposure on their balance sheet, even if it's for 1 second, and then have to
Mm-hmm.
reconcile those differences. So BitPay, Coin Payments, some of these other guys, they provide a unique service where it's not just the UI that's built out that you can accept crypto and it looks all sexy on your app and whatnot. It's really the service around guaranteeing a fiat settlement that's really the most intensive and most difficult. So when AT&T accepts a payment for $100 online, it is
Mm-hmm.
not feasible for them to receive anything but $100,
Right,
right?
sure.
And they can't
Gotcha.
deal with like I got $99. What does that mean? The price of Bitcoin went down, or I got even the other way, right? I got $102. They'd rather not have the extra money. They'd rather have
Yeah.
the accounting simplicity, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that became probably one of the most important things, and you'll see that as a massive trend with all crypto payment processors. That almost all of these integrations, they just take it in dollars immediately.
Gotcha. I mean, do you see like, so from a like a macro view of like where you see the market going, especially in relation to to payments and transfers and stuff? I mean, do you see a lot of it eventually being very abstracted, like the AT&T or the Verizon example, where it's I'm buying this and I don't know anymore if I'm actually purchasing in crypto and or fiat anymore. All I know is that I'm hitting the buy button and something's happening. Like, where do you see the market going in that sense?
I mean, I think you have to look at like who's the market spending crypto right now. Like, most technologists and most people who understand and want to use crypto for like the actual blockchain value, again, who are not holding it in some sort of like trading mechanism or trading environment, they actually hold it like in a MetaMask wallet or directly in some other, non-custodial setting.
Right.
Those folks usually, for the most part, or at least in my experience, they're still holding their crypto
Mm-hmm.
for a large portion of time. It's usually the trading use case that really is seeing a lot of this like retail spend as well, and it's more on the luxury side, right? So
Right.
high ticket transaction items and things like that. So like at BitPay, BitPay was integrated with Lamborghini Newport Beach,
Mm-hmm.
Denison Yachts, like these major players that sell like super ultra luxury goods. And they saw a tremendous amount of tractions, and most of those transactions are like not facilitated by complex blockchain mechanisms. It's usually like, I want to move money from my Coinbase account and buy a Lambo or something like that.
Right. Right.
Or I want to,
Goals.
yeah,
Goals.
there you go. Pretty sin. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's that kind of environment, or that kind of transaction where it's like, okay, cool. It's like Coinbase makes it stupid easy for me to send money out without understanding what private keys are or whatever. BitPay makes it super easy for me to receive money directly from Coinbase. Like, you'll be surprised how many of these transactions actually were in that format. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
just, I put in a couple thousand into Bitcoin in 2015, and I don't really understand too much of it, but now I have a lot of it. I want to buy a house or
Yeah.
something like that.
Gotcha.
And then obviously, like, there are those traditional Web3 or traditional crypto folks that do come in and do hold non-custodial crypto. And in those settings, you do see a little bit more of a complex um, buy phase or buy process or whatever it
Sure.
is. But again, majority of the transactions, at least in my experience, have been, custodial exchange directly to BitPay to make it really easy for me to take my holdings, my earnings, or whatever it is, and directly spend it in crypto.
I see. Okay, interesting. Yeah, and that's so I feel like no one can make the argument anymore that it's hard to purchase crypto. It's not like
Yeah.
it used to be.
No, I think it used to be far more difficult. Like prior to 2017, it was very difficult. You had like just a handful of regulated exchanges, and even they were, like small and up and coming. So it's difficult to like feel comfortable putting a large amount of assets. Now you have well funded, well depth, deep, or let's just say deep exchanges out there. A lot of people trust them, and in
Mm-hmm.
those situations, it's become, they've done a lot of work to make it super easy to buy. And then you've had, the next wave of people like us, crypto payments companies come in and really start to hit their peak, meaning that now people are starting to get more integrated crypto payments available. So all in all, it's just gotten a lot easier for people to buy crypto and hold crypto. A lot of people have gotten more educated about, how to hold it, what a MetaMask is, what a non-custodial wallet is. And now you're seeing a lot of traction with that for sure.
Got it. Yeah. No. And that's. I mean, it's so exciting to see and like watch like evolve really like in real time, right? Because on our end we talk to a lot of large brands, a lot of like large IP holders, a lot of enterprises, and um, some of them kind of they walk in with the door that there's this idea that there's so much friction, right, for their customers to adopt or interact with whatever Web3 solution that they're planning out, and to know that like when you tell them like, actually, man, you can go purchase like an NFT with a credit card, like it's not that hard, and just watch them be like, what, really? Like, yeah. And then you couple that with like a custodial wallet, and now you've got this like very easy user experience where always akin it to like, if my mom was going to go purchase this, she could easily do it in a very familiar process, which is cool. But Jamal, thank you so much, man, for stopping by today. So if you're going to be speaking at NFT Expoverse, right, in July out in LA. So if anyone wants to check out Jamal in person, he will be there. And if anyone wants to follow you or check you out, like what's the best place for them to do that?
I'm off the grid. Embarrassingly, I don't have a social media, but I do have a LinkedIn, and I'm happy to take anything via email. So you could reach out to me directly at Jamal@sendwire.com, or our sales team at sales@sendwire.com, or definitely ping me on LinkedIn. I know that's lame, but yeah, I'm there pretty
Dude,
heavily.
I'm on the same spot, man. I don't know. I've made a niche on LinkedIn. I feel like I don't know. I can't get any traction on Twitter. I don't know if I just don't get it, but
It's just
no,
too much stuff. Too much
it's
stuff going on.
it's too much, man. But thank you again so much for stopping by today. And with that, we will chat again soon. But look forward to seeing you out in LA at NFT Expoverse, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course. So with that, that was Jamal from Wyre. I will put their website and stuff down into the comments below. So if you want to check them out, you definitely can do that. But with that, thank you all for stopping by today, and I appreciate the time. And Keith, do your outro.